Hello everyone, how are you? Chris here from Teeling Whiskey Distillery. Today I'm going to be taking you through a private tasting of some of our core range, the Trinity series. So make yourselves comfortable and I'll take you through each one. Now, whether you have a Trinity gift pack at home or if you're lucky enough to have a full bottle, we'll be starting off with our flagship whiskey, the Teeling Small Batch. This one here is what's classified as a blended whiskey. Now this is actually the most globally recognized style of whiskey all around the world. So how Teeling do things a little bit differently with this style, as I mentioned during the maturation, we use two different types of barrels, both American bourbon barrels and Central American rum. You'll really notice from this one here, when you first pick it up on the nose, lovely and inviting with those light, soft, subtle honey flavors. Touches of vanilla, and a little bit of caramel or fudge. Now, if you dig a little bit deeper into this whiskey, you can see the complexity starts to come through. The likes of rum raisin, the likes of tropical fruits, dates, figs, melons, and we'll see now when we get down to the taste, it has that lovely viscous, thick mouthfeel. Actually, looking at the glass, you'll notice what we call the legs or the tears. You can see it here at the side of your glass. These are all the natural oils coming through from our whiskey. So of course, this one is bottled at 46% or 92 proof and non-chill filtered, keeping in all that character, all that essence, all that flavor. So speaking of flavor, let's have a taste and see what we think. Now you'll notice has that lovely, thick, buttery mouthfeel, coats your whole palate. There's a little bit of spice just creeping here at the finish, but it is lovely and delicate, very, very accessible, with a lot of those tropical fruits and allspice coming through at the end. So this is the first one, our Teeling Small Batch. Now, the one we have here in the middle, our Teeling Single Grain, this is actually a completely different category. Grain whiskey has a lot of structural similarities with American bourbon. So if you're familiar with American bourbon, you'll know normally in the process it contains 51% mace or corn. The Teeling Single Grain, a little bit different again, has 95% corn and 5% malted barley. So this one here, it is matured for up to 6 years in Californian Cabernet Sauvignon red wine barrels coming from Napa Valley in the States. In comparison to the small batch, you'll notice it has a lot of those red fruits. Now in particular, cherries, or for me personally, I get a lot of raspberry jam coming through on the nose. So it really does add a lot of those natural tannins as well on top of that sweetness. This is of course 95% corn and 5% malted barley. So a style very, very structurally similar to American bourbon. So let's see how it tastes. Really night and day. From the small batch, it has that very buttery, very thick mouthfeel, with the single grain lovely and dry and tannic, and has that nice, very short finish to it at the very, very end. Again, bottled at 46% or 92 proof, non-chill filtered. The last category, now this is what we call a single malt. It has 100% malted barley. If I had to give this a comparison to another style, it'd be very, very close to Scottish single malt. With Irish single malts, you'll often hear they tend to have a little bit more of a fruitiness to it, particularly all those apples and pears that we've talked about from distillation. Now Teeling's, our innovation really is showcased with this whiskey. It's a symphony of flavors with 5 different wine influences. So we've got white wine Burgundy, Cabernet Sauvignon, Madeira, Port, and Oloroso Sherry. There really is no wrong answer with what you smell and taste with this whiskey. So on the nose, what I get is a lot of those Chardonnay grapes, a lot of the citrus, the lemongrass. Now once you get past that, more darker flavors, so dark chocolate or coffee. If you're a big coffee fan like myself, you'll definitely be picking this up at the moment. As well as that sweetness coming through from the Oloroso Sherry. So again, caramel or fudge and a little bit of spice creeping through from the Madeira, particularly ginger on the nose. With single malts, they're very, very typical of having that much longer finish. So with this one, it really is a great whiskey for this time of year. And the finish, lovely and long and mellow, has that depth of flavor to it really coming through. So this is bottled 46% or 92 proof, and it's non-chill filtered. So that's our core range, the Teeling's Trinity, our small batch, our Teeling single grain, and our Teeling single malt. If you've absolutely any questions on the whiskey we've talked about today or our process, do feel free to reach out to us on our social media and we'd be more than happy to get back to you. Enjoy your day. Thank you for your time. As we say in Ireland, sláinte.